let's talk with Will in Texas. But for everybody else on the line, please call back next week. You both have very interesting questions we would love to talk with you about. And we want to make sure that when we clip these later, we're able to give you a full 5, 10, 15-minute conversation.
Yes.
And not just a couple of minutes. So make sure to call back and we will look for your calls. Will in Texas, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hi. How can we help you today?
It's amazing to talk to you both. I've been a fan for a long time.
Oh, yay.
So I know that veganism has been a hot topic.
Is this the third call?
It's one per episode at this point. Yes, go for it.
Okay.
So I apologize for muddying the waters there, but I think that there's a piece of helpful data that I can, or not data, but an idea that I can provide that will help others consider another point to this topic.
Interesting.
And
hit us. What's up?
To me, it starts like this. I assume you are both against animal cruelty.
I think that's a good assumption.
Yeah.
I think I'm against cruelty in general.
Right, cruelty in general. So obviously at this point you'd want to kind of define what cruelty is, so that we don't take out things that aren't that make it how do I describe this? So in a nutshell, my view is if one is against animal cruelty and we know that other animals do sense danger, do flee, do run away, how is it that we can reconcile literally killing an animal to end its life, to prevent it from living its best life, to have any kind of choice in the matter, which we know if it had a choice, it would run away from any kind of impending doom that it could recognize. How can you reconcile eating meat and being against animal cruelty?
Well, I'm going to dive into the deep end here for a quick second, and I'm sorry that we took you last, and we're going to have to wrap this up probably sooner than any of us want to.
Which is why you're going to have to call back.
Right, definitely call back. For me, specifically, when I think of animal cruelty as a category of action, I'm thinking about abuse of an animal for whom you are caretaker, or to whom you have a personal responsibility. So if you go out and you adopt a dog, and that dog is now dependent on you, and you have entered into some kind of social contract with this animal and being like, I'm going to provide for you and care for you and house you and feed you, and then you don't, that is animal cruelty. Now, I smash bugs off of me when they land on me. That is not a contract that I am breaking, even though, yes, I am killing a bug. That to me is the distinction between animal cruelty and other concepts around that. I'm not saying that is by any means hard and fast, but where my mind goes is that contract that you enter into with an animal you decide to care for and then don't.
Yeah, for me, I jump. I know we don't have a whole lot of time, so I'm going to try my best to summarize this. So I think we're mixing things, and when we mix them, it gets muddied. And so the first is if we were to look up Temple Grandin. Temple Grandin invented a very, very humane way to slaughter cows that gets them from zero to death without suffering or fear or pain. And if you were to factor that in, now, is it moral or ethical to kill that animal? At the same time, there are other things, like you have that dog your entire life and that dog is now suffering. It is at the end of its life and you decide to put it down. I would say that is an act of compassion, and yet you are still killing an animal. And because of that, using broad strokes like that what it does is I feel like it destroys the conversation that needs to be had in the gray area that we need to find ourselves getting to a lot faster.
I think we'd like to make gray areas on this topic, though, especially the one where we talk about, we're humans, we're not animals, when in reality we are. And in my eyes, I can't see how it isn't cruel to end the life of another animal just because we want to eat it when we have many other options.
But what if it's suffering?
So the way that I phrase this is,
I understand.
Unnecessary animal suffering.
Perfect. Let's pick that back up. But we are out of time. Thank you for calling in. Thank you for waiting. Call back early, okay?
You're both awesome. Thank you very much.
Aw, shucks.
Thank you, Will.